Hi there, if you are just in the process of joining us, we're going to wait a little while for people to jump on, just because we know that can sometimes take a little bit of time or people are running a little bit late. So in like 1 to 2 minutes, we'll kick off. If you're on here on time and you're amazing like that, you're probably going to hear me say this message another 1 to 2 times. So just ignore that and thank you for being patient. But yeah, we'll kick off in a couple of minutes as soon as we've got some people online. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. We'll just give it 1 more minute and then we will get going. If you didn't hear me before, thank you so much for taking some time out to join us today. I really enjoyed watching Melissa in the background of Sam's camera. I don't know if anyone else saw that, try and avoid the camera by dipping under it. That was sensational. So if you are here on time, that was your treat. Thank you so much. We will kick off, as I said, in about a minute, going through exactly how you can use FuseWorks and SuiteFiles to improve communications with your clients. Apologies if you've now heard this message twice, but in exactly a minute, we will kick off. Amazing. I'm going to get started because I don't think we should wait forever. So thank you so much again for joining us today. I am really excited to be here. I am joined by Sam and Catherine, who I'll introduce you to shortly. In terms of what you can expect from today, I'm just going to share my screen with you. And we will get going. So thank you so much for joining us. We are joined, as I said, by the lovely Sam and Catherine. Today we are going to go through how you can improve your communications with clients using FuseWorks and SuiteFiles. So in terms of a little bit of an agenda, out of today's session, obviously we'll go through some introductions. Sam is going to take us through what FuseWorks is, the benefits of automating those processes and why you'd want to do that. She'll then give you a really quick demonstration into how SuiteFiles and FuseWorks work together, as well as the process for implementing that tech stack. So implementing FuseWorks and SuiteFiles to work together. She'll also talk a little bit there about how it integrates into Xero and Xero Practice Manager. And we'll then go into a Q&A with Catherine. So we have some questions that we're dying to ask her, but of course you are all more than welcome to submit your questions. Before I go through introductions, just a little bit of webinar housekeeping. So this session is being recorded and I will send the recording to all of you at the end of the session. If you need to talk or have anything at any point in time you want to say, obviously feel free to use the chat function, which you'll find in the top nav. If you have questions for myself or Sam or Catherine throughout the webinar, there is a Q&A box, probably the most important part. I don't know, I should be able to see mine on my screen now. Make sure you type your questions into there. That will be where we're reading the questions from. We will, wherever possible, be answering them live at the end. But the last thing I would say is make sure if you've got multiple tabs open, you close a bunch of them. It just tends to run a little bit better and your performance will be a little bit better if you've got less going on your computer. So in terms of introductions, you are joined today by me. If you have not seen my smiling face on a webinar before, I frankly will be quite surprised. My name is Molly. I work in the marketing team here at SuiteFiles and I love a webinar, which is why I'm sitting here on this one. So as you know, SuiteFiles is cloud-based document management. Pretty sure almost everyone on this website webinar is using SuiteFiles. So you know what we're all about. I am joined by Sam. She also works in the marketing team at FuseWorks, but she makes magic happen, which is why we've popped that down there. So FuseWorks, you will see a little bit about today, and we are also joined by Catherine from WHM Partners. So as you can see there, WHM Partners are chartered accountants. They are based in Victoria, so are really feeling the brunt of that coronavirus lockdown down there at the moment and doing an amazing job. And so we're a really great candidate just to talk about how they've managed to keep communication up with clients through this. As you can see, Catherine is heavily involved in client support. And so a really great person to kind of talk about how they've used systems to improve that process. So I am going to hand over to Sam now. You will stop hearing my voice for a little bit. She's going to take you through a brief overview of what FuseWorks is, how it works, the document pack collation process, and why you'd want to get all of that set up. And once she is done, we'll obviously go into question time. So thank you so much, and I'll hand over to you, Sam.
Thanks so much, Molly. Let me just get my screen up. Here we go. So you should be all seeing my presentation. All good?
Yep, looks beautiful to me.
All right,
a lot
excellent.
of FuseWorks men.
Excellent. So yes, my name is Sam. I'm the marketing manager at FuseWorks. So I'm here today to talk to you about how you can use automation to improve your client communication and present a few ideas on how FuseWorks actually offers solutions to do that. So to kick things off today, I wanted to give you some background on who we are, as I know there are a number of you on the line that may not know FuseWorks. So by way of introduction, our number one focus is to deliver smart tools to accounting and financial planning firms to allow you to work smarter, free up time, and focus on what really matters. So we provide software that specifically looks at manual processes that businesses need to do to complete client work, and we have found ways to automate them. So our flagship product and what we're going to be talking about today is FuseDocs, which is a smart document automation tool that combines source documents into a client-ready PDF package. So FuseDocs integrates with your practice management system, such as Xero, your document management system like SuiteFiles, to find and combine all the necessary documents into a client-ready pack. So for example, think of a family group and of your accounting package consisting of financial statements and tax returns, magically combined and collated into one client-ready PDF package, fully bookmarked with letterhead and branding, cover sheets, content pages, and security applied. So FuseDocs can even create a separate signing pack of everything the client needs to sign. So this saves what is reported to be an average of 30 to 45 minutes per manual collation, down to just a few minutes and a click of a few buttons. So other than what I just said, why would you want to automate this process? Well, there's a few benefits of using FuseDocs to automate this process. First of all, it helps with transitioning your business from paper-based to fully electronic ways of working. So you save on printing costs and the manual work involved with preparing packs to be sent to clients. Your presentation and branding is improved due to the automated formatting that FuseDocs does in just a matter of seconds. So with FuseDocs, you can automatically have your branding applied to the whole document. This includes things like your cover page, your header and footer, and lots of other things that you can apply, your fonts, your colors, and that sort of thing as well. And then there's reduction of errors. Now, computers don't have distractions, emotions, exhaustion that people do. So by being able to automate it and using technology to do so, it does significantly reduce errors that can occur when putting together a pack. Plus, all this is done in a fraction of the time. So what we think is pretty essential right now is to save your time by not needing to manually compile packs for your clients. So you can redirect that time to other important business activities such as sales, spending more time with your clients, discussing their business, training and development of your team, and many more activities that can help your team feel like they're doing work that really matters. Whoops, skipped a slide. So how does this work, and how does it work with SuiteFiles? So for example, if you use SuiteFiles in XPM, FuseDocs leverages all the information available on the client in XPM, along with pulling through all your raw documents directly from SuiteFiles, and then it automates the final output. So it's at this point that all the custom settings within FuseDocs apply, your branding, cover pages, tables of contents, page numbers, etc. And it produces your beautiful looking package, which you can then send on to a client, upload back to SuiteFiles, whatever you might want to do with it from there. So to step you through an accounting firm process, FuseDocs handles that end-to-end process. So annual processes, but also lots of other client information packages. So along with lots of integration options, such as creating letters, sending to portals. Of course, the actual collation is just one part of the process. And since we created FuseDocs, we've extended the functionality to provide end-to-end automation. So FuseDocs doesn't just prepare the annual collation, but also the checklists and letters that accompany it, and a host of other repetitive compliance processes. So a couple of examples, you've got your annual financial statements and tax return packages for family groups. You've got your annual financial statements and tax return packages for self-managed super funds, annual company statement packages, business activity statement packages, personalized cover letters and checklists, and so much more. So what you can think of in terms of automating and producing as your client work, we can probably help you there with FuseDocs. So this is just a quick demo video of what FuseDocs actually looks like. So I'm going to talk over the top of it. So what you do is you look up, oh, I'll just wait for it to start playing. So you look up the client and FuseDocs will show the documents available for you to include. So we instruct FuseDocs on the documents you usually include in your report packs. We tell Fuse to find those documents, and we get Fuse to connect directly to XPM and SuiteFiles to find your client and family group details and locate all those documents. You then have control of the documents that are included. You can also edit the cover letter that is generated. And when you're happy with all those settings, you hit compile and FuseDocs does the rest. So FuseDocs will jump into your SuiteFiles and locate each of the items. And these can be in any format. So it can be Word, Excel, or PDF already. It will convert each of these into a PDF and create your formatted, branded report pack complete with a table of contents, what you can see on the screen, page numbers, bookmarks, signatures, and compilation reports. So if the pack is being prepared in FuseDocs by a member of the admin staff or someone else in your team, they are able to submit the prepared pack for review. So you can see here it's submitting it for review to Melissa in this case. And so it's a really great way to be able to work collaboratively with your team while preparing these packs, all within the FuseDocs program. Beautiful. We also have a couple of extra plugins and tools that you can use. So Fuse also will connect to the Outlook. And what that means is you can prepare a draft email and see the email for review before you hit send, obviously attaching the pack directly to that. So it just saves that extra step of having to save the file and then go into your email program. So that's a nice time saving there. And the workflow tool, which I mentioned earlier, what that allows you to do is easily see the compilation jobs that have been started and are at different stages of the approval process. So some of our clients prepare inputs and compile the documents all at once, while others have different team members complete different parts of the process. And that's where workflow is really handy. So on the home screen here, you can see that one waiting on a director review and a couple in the initial prep stage. And you can see that they're ready to be reviewed in different stages. So this is huge benefits to helping you with your internal processes, with working collaboratively and reducing bottlenecks within your team. So now the fun stuff that I really enjoy. How does this improve client communications? So obviously I'm marketing manager at FuseWorks, so my background is in that branding and presentation. And from what I can see here with FuseDocs, it has huge benefits in terms of presenting your documentation really professionally and polished. So by having a really polished final output, you can make an excellent impression on your clients and instill that confidence in the quality of the work that you've done. You also have better consistency in how your documents are put together, and also helps maintain the quality of your output. By automating your document collation, you're also using the latest technology to make the process more streamlined and efficient and moving to a more digital focused business. So something all businesses have needed to embrace in recent times, for sure. Your team also will have more capacity to spend time with clients when they need it. So more time on the phone, you're faster returning emails, and just generally just having a better work-life balance amongst your team. So now, will it be right for you? I know the slipper doesn't always fit, and sometimes your porridge is just too hot. We've seen it time and time again where businesses try to implement software, and instead of it being tailored to suit them, the business has to change to suit the software, and that's not us. So at FuseWorks, part of what you pay for is the tailored solution and the ability to integrate with your existing systems. So we have a really excellent team of implementation consultants who have worked with every combination of systems, team dynamics and processes, and are really dedicated to learning how you do things and making sure the solution they build is right for you. So how it works, it's a really simple process. So first of all, you schedule in a demo with us and discuss some of your unique needs and processes, the size of your firm and how many users you'll have using FuseDocs, so we can create a custom proposal. Then with your implementation consultant, they'll go through the specific details on how you want to have the system set up, such as your branding specifics, cover letters, checklists, all of those details. And we call that meeting a discovery. Then as little as a week, we can have FuseDocs up and going for you to test and start using, with an optimization phase for you to request any changes if required. There you go. So that's sort of a little bit about FuseDocs and SuiteFiles and how that can improve your communication. And I know that Molly will be sending a follow-up email after the webinar with some more details about us, but I'd love to start chatting with Catherine now and just sort of, directly from a client, find out how you guys find our products and services.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sam. And yeah, that's a really, really good handover. I guess before we kick into harassing Catherine with questions about FuseDocs and SuiteFiles, what I'd really like to hear from her about is how have you guys found the switch to remote work in this coronavirus period, and what role has technology played in that?
Thanks for the question, guys, and thanks so much for having me today. For that, I found it quite smooth and easy, just because our company was very well organized. The framework of our IT allowed us to smoothly transition to working remotely. We didn't have to go scrambling around because everything was well set up for us. However, not all staff had laptops or cables, etc. So there was a lot of effort that was put in to ensure that we had the correct equipment in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, I can imagine. It was weird. We had the same thing over here. Obviously, we all suddenly went to being remote. And it was silly things like I forgot to bring my mouse home, and not having a mouse was just a really annoying fact of life for a solid couple of weeks until I could get one delivered. When you were transitioning, how did kind of having software like FuseDocs and SuiteFiles have an impact on that? Did it change how you handled the transition?
Well, to be honest, it didn't make a big impact for me. I still felt as if I was working in the office, but in saying that, I have only been with the company for just under a year. I did speak to my colleague the other day coming up to this webinar. She did mention how difficult and time consuming it was without FuseDocs. So I'm really glad that the company did implement the software when they did.
Yes, it's a lot of people at the moment seem to feel like they went cloud at just the right time.
Yeah.
And in terms of your day-to-day, what are you using SuiteFiles and FuseDocs for? How does that work on your kind of daily basis?
Yeah, so mainly it's to do packages for the clients. So like financial packages, income tax returns, group packages. We use that on a day-to-day basis, really. There's probably never a day we don't use FuseDocs or SuiteFiles.
Oh my gosh. And on average, how long is it, say you're putting together a financial statements pack, how long does that take you?
Not long at all. A few minutes, really. I know back then when we didn't have FuseDocs and SuiteFiles, and the admin team had to manually put them into Adobe and just do everything manually. And they said it took ages. Just to collate documents.
And it would be impossible to add page numbers and extra
contents page.
Yeah, header and footers. Really yeah. Oh,
wow. Have there been any challenges along the way? Has there been parts of that process that were, if you had your time again, you'd do differently, or you'd work through perhaps in a different way?
I think because with FuseDocs, it strongly relies on naming convention. So, which given is a must because you want it to be picking up the correct files for your pack and whatnot. So just having that support of all your staff to embrace the naming convention and use them as is. Yeah, so just all about naming convention. You just need to learn to use it and just embrace it.
Yeah.
And how did you find getting your staff and your admin team on board with the change and with using a new system? Was there any resistance to it?
No, not really. Like change is really evident in accounting in our firm. So we have changes every day. So just having it being a smooth transition or small changes that just you can adapt to it really quickly and easily and very clear. It just helped it make things better.
No, that is awesome. In terms of, I guess, what you guys are looking at next as a firm, what is, I guess, the next thing that you guys are looking to do to try and really develop your business or change your tech stack? Is there something you're looking to add? Where do you think the next kind of gains are for you guys in terms of how you communicate with your clients?
At the moment, with the COVID and stuff, we're just trying to find easier ways to communicate to our clients, to get things to them efficiently and quicker. So yeah, on that note, we're still learning, we're still looking into it.
Yeah, no, I can imagine it's like there's so much change in the world, and then trying to find like the new way of working that makes that easier is probably pretty time consuming.
Yeah.
How has FuseDocs and SuiteFiles changed the way you manage your client communication?
So with FuseDocs, when we didn't have FuseDocs, that kind of software, it took ages for us to get things to clients. Now that we've implemented FuseDocs and have softwares like that, it allowed us to respond to clients' urgent requests more efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's like just a quicker way to get things to them. So it saved a lot of time. So when they wanted urgent requests right away, it just took minutes, really. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what was the implementation process like? You might not have been around for it, but yeah, how was the process of implementing?
Well, I wasn't directly involved in the implementation process, but I heard it was quite smooth, which was a result of a lot of background work between our practice manager and FuseDocs team. But yeah, like given that FuseDocs team has always been very responsive to any queries we might have had as well.
That's awesome. And I mean, what advice would you give firms who are looking at FuseWorks or SuiteFiles or changing their technology to try and make this communication easier?
I would say FuseDocs has been very beneficial for us in terms of time and consistency across the board. Even though we had to do some work around our naming conventions to allow FuseDocs and SuiteFiles to interact, it's been really good and yeah, very helpful.
Awesome. And how have your clients found the change? Have they really noticed anything about the change? Are they have they seen any marked difference, or is it more that things look really the same for them and they're getting a really high level of service? It's just faster for you guys?
Yeah, the second one, I agree completely. They just love how consistent and how do you say, like just the package itself, because we can print them off as well for them, even electronically, or we're sending out hard copy. They've loved the quality of it.
Yeah, so it's look kind of higher quality and everything looks really consistent from there.
Yeah, very clear. Yeah. Amazing.
And how are your clients generally at the moment? How are they coping with, the roller coaster that is 2020?
We have half, like, it is what it is, but they've been very more active into communicating with us. So that's a plus. So yeah, it just builds our clientele and relationship with them.
Amazing. So it's put more importance on how you communicate. Yeah, and what you're sending through to them. It's really good to hear. It's good to hear that you guys have had like obviously a positive experience. Probably wouldn't put you in front of a camera if that wasn't the case. But I think the thing that really stands out for me is that it's nice that you guys have got you know, your clients have no real difference other than that they can see that it's consistent and it's of a really high quality, and you've managed to, you know, save the time without it looking like you're cutting corners for your clients, which probably means you can, you know, reinvest back into them a little better, especially at the moment when, like you said, it is pretty 50-50. They either need more support because things are going really well, or they need more support because they're struggling, and things are not easy for them, and they you know, need people who are empathic and really logical and have got solutions around them, which you know, is why we all have accountants, which I never thought until I worked in this industry, and I realized just how empathic they are. What, again, I guess, you know, in terms of you like WHM partners and using FuseDocs and using SuiteFiles, is there anything else that you would love to see from the systems? Is there anything that you're hoping to get in the future? Like, what are you excited about in terms of technology changes down the line?
I haven't really thought about that yet, but I know for a fact, yeah, of course, every day you're going to improve. Like, it's always onwards and upwards with technology. So
amazing. Well, I will open it up. We haven't had any questions come through yet, but if you have any questions, please feel free to pop them into that question box. Obviously, this is the end of the super formal part of this, but yeah, happy to take any questions that you guys might have for Sam or myself or Catherine. We'll also be sending out we'll also be sending out a copy of the recording to everyone at the end of this as well. But yeah, we will hang around, see if any questions come through. And if not, we'll probably just be chattering amongst ourselves until they do. Because yeah, it is a weird time, especially because most of our connection is coming through screens.
Yeah, this is definitely the new norm, I feel.
Absolutely.
Chatting over a webcam.
Yep.
Catherine, I have a question for you in regards to, either from yourself or someone from your team, have they commented about the time that they've now saved and what they've been able to then spend the time on? Has that changed for you guys?
Yeah, of course. I did speak to my colleague, as I did mention earlier. She's been with the company for years, like years. She said, yes, having she loves FuseDocs. She's the FuseDocs enthusiast. Like, she's someone I go to if I need help with FuseDocs, because I'm just learning. I call her the queen of FuseDocs. She knows the ins and outs, why FuseDocs may not pick up a certain file, and it all revolves around naming conventions. So those little special characters, such as a full stop or a /, you need to make sure, like, SuiteFiles or Zero Practice Manager is named around that. She says, yes, it saved her heaps of times. There was a day where FuseDocs wasn't working for us, and we had Paul and Hugh trying to help us fix it. We had an urgent request that we needed a pack to get out, and she was going to show me how to do it manually, and she was like, it's going to take us the whole day. And
oh wow.
Like, gosh, but lucky FuseDocs, he was really quick to resolve that troubleshoot setting, and it just saved us like so much time. So it just gave us more time to focus on other clients and their needs as well, because, you know, everyone is important. So us trying to get out packages, it's the main focus for the day.
Yeah, wow. Oh, that's a really good story. It would have taken the whole day, but it didn't. Yeah,
I was a bit stressed. I was like, oh, I don't want to get onto this.
Yeah, wow.
There's a quote for you, Sam. A question that actually just come through from Mark. That's actually about our signing products. So it's just said, SuiteFiles has a signing product. So does FuseWorks. Are they complementary to each product? So I might have a crack at this and then I'll let Sam as well. But the short answer is that they're separate products. If we're going to be super blunt about it, they actually compete with each other technically. But you can use either. So if you're using FuseWorks and you're using FuseDocs, and then that pack is uploading straight into SuiteFiles, you can then set it up for signing in SuiteFiles. You can also follow that workflow in FuseWorks. It's your preference. It's what your practice is using. It's completely up to you. From a SuiteFiles perspective, and I'm sure FuseWorks is the same, we don't want to cut anyone off from using the technology that they want to use. So in terms of are they complementary, they're not the same thing, but you can absolutely use FuseDocs and Suite Signing. You can also use FuseDocs and FuseSign. You can upload a signed FuseWorks thing straight into SuiteFiles. That's not going to be a problem. Likewise, you can send a FuseDocs document pack into SuiteFiles and sign it from there. So from our end, it's really, buyer's choice as to which they'd like. Sam?
Yeah, I echo the exact same thing. It's really down to your preference. We do both offer signing, but it is definitely down to what you prefer to use. So that's, yeah, we're not in the business of competing with each other over a webinar, that's for sure.
And it's just there are bigger fish to fry in document signing. I'm a worry about DocuSign. But yeah, so it's all good. Another cost that I'm going to assume is actually relating to FuseWorks. What's the cost and how does it apply, e.g. per user or per firm?
It is a completely customized proposal. So I highly recommend, if you're interested, is to get in touch with us. I can send a link via the follow-up email with a link to our calendar to book a time to have a chat. And Melissa, who's the head of our client relations, will be able to chat to you about specific needs in terms of cost. But you'd be looking at a minimum investment of around $300 a month, if that helps answer that question.
Oops, still on mute. No, I think that's awesome. It's probably one of the questions we get most as well when people are asking about FuseWorks. Awesome.
It's very customized FuseDocs because there's a lot of add-ons and things and templates that you might want to use, and how many packs you want to create using FuseDocs, and that's sort of why I can't off the bat confirm, but that's sort of how it works. Yeah.
All right. Well, ballpark figure is always a great place to start. Awesome. Well, do you have any other questions, Sam? Sorry, I did not throw to you at all.
No, I think we've covered everything. And again, thank you so much, Catherine, for joining us today and having a chat about you using FuseDocs and SuiteFiles. This has been really fun.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, we'll thank you forever. I know how busy you guys are at the moment, and it's just really, really lovely to have, someone come and chat. I know that, accountants and bookkeepers love hearing from accountants and bookkeepers. There's a bunch of little comments coming through just saying thanks to you as well. So in the little chat. So no, thank you so much. If anyone has any other questions, we will stick around for a couple of minutes before ending the session. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for your time. As I mentioned, we'll send out a recording. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to get in touch. You will all have my email address. It is molly@suitefiles.com. And I can point you in the right direction. Or if you want to go straight to Sam, you can go to sam@fuse.work. And you'll be able to get in touch with her there as well.
That's right. Yeah. No, thank you everyone for joining us.
Awesome. I'm just going to stop the recording because